No questions? Inshallah, I just have one question, Sheikh, if you can give us advice. In the media now and everything, they're saying that 3rd of April is something called Punish a Muslim Day. So what is the advice that you can give to the youth, especially that are here, and advice to the Muslims in general? Barakallahu feekum.
So, yeah, I've heard about this. I've seen the letter of, letter that some people have been posting and passing around about certain points that you get if you do certain things to a Muslim. And from the responses, or first of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, before He created the heavens and the earth, He told the pen to write. And the pen, when He created the pen, He ordered the pen to write. And the pen said, what shall I write? He said, write down everything that's ever going to happen. Every single thing. So this lecture, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knew it was going to take place. The same thing when it comes to our lives and when we were born, what we were going to do, how much money we were going to make, and when we were going to also pass away, when we were going to die. So death is something which is in the hands of Allah. Nobody can bring death quicker or delay our death. That's something which is in the hands of Allah. If it's written for you, then it's going to come. If it's not written for you, it's not going to happen. And one of the most important things that we need to remember is nobody can dictate, okay, what happens to us in our lives and what they're going to do. Because one of the greatest lessons we can learn from the seerah and the life of the Prophet Muhammad is how much they tried to kill the Messenger of Allah. How many battles took place between the Muslims and the non-Muslims? So many battles. In fact, even before he left Mecca, they tried to kill him. When he left Mecca and he made the hijrah, they tried to chase him, they tried to find him. They were in the cave where the Messenger of Allah was hiding. And they were right next to him and they still couldn't find him and still couldn't kill him. Meaning, they might plan things, وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهِ. They plan and Allah also plans. وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah is the greatest of those who plans. So people can say these types of things. But what's funny, if you look at the letter, what are the points for? What points? What do you get? And people are foolish. They think, 10 points. Well, where are you going to get for 10 points? What are 10 points? What are you going to get? 10p? What are you going to get? And in the letter there's no website, there's no contact number, there's no, come and get your points from this place or that place. Why not? Maybe something like this. We don't know. There's no contact detail on there. Why is there a contact detail on there? Because they're scared. Why did they put something down if they're really serious? Okay, we'll give you points. When it gives you just 10 points, well, what kind of points are these? Why would a person do it? He's wasted, what are you going to get? What are these points? Just fake points? And if there's no number there, there's no contact number, there's no website, what does that show us? Who are the real cowards? These people. These people are the ones who are afraid. Because they're writing these things and they send a letter through the post in a few places. They don't put no numbers down, no names down. So this shows us, in fact, they're the ones who are afraid. They're just trying to cause these problems. So nothing can happen except by Allah's decree. And that's why, whether it's that day or whether it's any other day, we should always make sure that we're protected and we're under the protection of Allah. How can a person make sure he's under the protection of Allah every single day? Adhkar al-sabah and adhkar al-masa. Learn the remembrances of the evening and the remembrances of the morning. When Fajr time comes, you should be doing certain adhkar. Reading Surah Ikhlas and Surah Falaq and Surah Nas 3 times. Every morning. Ayatul Kursi. Every morning and every evening. Because when the evening comes, the shayateen come out. Different shayateen come out. And so you protect yourself at night time, at Maghrib time, or after Asr. So do these adhkar. Make sure you're always doing these adhkar anyway. And when you leave the house, what are you supposed to say? Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah. In the name of Allah, I put my trust in Allah. Because no one can harm us if Allah doesn't want anyone to harm us. So you put your trust in Allah. So learn these du'as. When you enter the house, you make a dua as well. When you're traveling in your car, that's why you have all these du'as, to make you stronger. What's the famous book called that has all these du'as in it? What does Hisnul Muslim mean? Fortress of the Muslim. That's your fortress. That's your castle. These du'as are your castle. You're protected. Nothing can harm you. No human beings, no jinn. And the final thing, and this is something I always advise all my brothers and sisters to do, learn what? Learn self-defense. Learn some type of self-defense, brothers and sisters. Because have you noticed how many times the men, non-Muslims, they attack? They don't attack. They attack in groups, and also most of the time they don't attack men. They attack the women. It's funny how they never attack the men, they always attack the women. So the brothers and the sisters should learn a basic type of self-defense. Anything. Whether it's boxing, whether it's, jiu-jitsu, whether it's wrestling, whether it's taekwondo or kickboxing or Thai boxing or anything. A person should learn some type of self-defense. Anything he can. Even simple self-defense classes, just to make sure you're confident. So I advise brothers with this, and inshallah, let that day come and a person is under the protection of Allah. Shouldn't be afraid, you should be confident. Don't be afraid. No one can harm you unless Allah wills that somebody may harm you. And if you're under the protection of Allah, then inshallah Allah will take care of you and Allah will protect you. And anything which does happen, if anything does happen, if someone does try to do something, if someone tries to say something to you, know that that person only did it because Allah allowed him and gave him the permission to do it. And whenever something happens in our lives, there's always some benefit. Because Allah never does something to somebody's life and it's something which is bad or harmful. He can always learn and benefit from it. So just be content with whatever happens to you in your life. Always be content. Always look on the positive side. And inshallah, we ask that Allah protects us.
We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward you and to bless you. Jazakallah khairan, barakallah.